you're not watching the most handsome man on a new television show. It's me. Hello, everybody. My name is Rob Thomas. I am honored to be back in Winona again to help out here with this incredible event. I came in on the train yesterday morning, and I always love coming to Winona by train. There's something magical about that. And I still remember my first time coming when I worked for the Shakespeare Festival. So when I came down for the first time for a design conference and I pulled into Winona, something felt different. I don't know if it was the energy, I don't know if it was the people, something physically felt different in me. And I've always enjoyed that and had that feeling every time I come back. So I am absolutely honored that Heidi invited me here to participate in this incredible event. So it's my pleasure. I get to welcome you to the 2023 Celebrate the Sonnet event, which is the official end to the annual Maria W. Faust Sonnet Contest. So today we're going to recognize the winners of the 2023 contest and listen as they read their sonnets. 19 out of our 28 winners will read their sonnets over Zoom right here in front of you. And our judges will read the remaining sonnets for the winners who aren't able to join us today. So it started as a local contest sponsored by Winona's very first poet laureate, and the Great River Shakespeare Festival has grown into an international phenomenon with a reach far beyond our community. So the 2023 contest saw entries from 16 countries and 43 states. Almost 700 sonnets were submitted by 262 individuals, including 73 in the youth category. 73 young people submitted sonnets. The prizes are totaling $3,200 were awarded in the following categories. We have the top four regional youth and the laureate's choice. The Maria W. Faust Sonnet Contest is an annual event that welcomes entries from around the world to Winona. The contest honors the memory of Maria W. Faust, a Winona State University graduate in communications, a 20-year resident of Winona, an avid supporter of varied local arts, and a lover of poetry. Maria's husband, Ted Halland, is the contest's benefactor with a goal of keeping Maria's love of poetry alive in our community and beyond. The story of Ted finding poetry through loss inspires many poets to participate in the contest. We're going to use Ted's own words to tell this story because they are really beautiful and inspirational. And I will try to get through it because I tear up every time I read it. So well into my early 60s, after a decade of my second marriage to the love of my life, Maria ended with her tragic death. An amazing journey began. The very night she unexpectedly passed away, I awoke from a sleep with a poem forming within me, the first I had ever composed. The occasion seemed to me to be almost magical, as if Maria had sent in her passing a muse. That very day, I began to write poems, usually 3 or 4 each day, every day of the week. Connecting his muse to the sonnet contest, Ted continues, I have always been drawn to rhyming and rhythm or some variants of them, and this is clear in the nearly 5,000 poems I have written to date. It's not surprising that I have often written in the sonnet form, and this in turn led me to envision our current sonnet contest, which draws entries from across the United States and several foreign countries every year. Now, we're going to go through the thank you section. A lot of people to thank, a lot of people put a lot of time and effort to make this come together year after year, and we want to be sure that we acknowledge and let them know how grateful we are to them for bringing this incredible event to Winona and this incredible opportunity to poets across the country. Special thanks go to the contest judges. So Winona's poets laureate James Armstrong, Ken McCullough, and Emilio DeGrazia, and Leslie Schultz of Northfield, Minnesota. And I think we have some of them right here, if you want to give them a round of applause and thank them for their efforts. Heidi Bryant is the managing director, and Johanna Ruprecht provides administrative support. So big thanks to Heidi here, and Johanna, you might have seen her doing all the technical arrangements on your way in. It's got my name, but I refuse to have you clap for me we'll wait till the end, because you're going to need about 2 minutes for a standing ovation, and we can't do that right now. We want to thank our partners, the Great River Shakespeare Festival and the River Arts Alliance, our fiscal sponsor. We need to thank Leanna Gary and Carrie Johnson here at the Winona County Historical Society for all their help, allowing us to use the space and helping us get everything all set up. Thank you to our friends at the Blue Heron Coffee House. Coffee and cookies in the back. If you haven't gotten some, feel free to grab that. We don't want to carry that big jug of coffee down unless it's empty, so start drinking. Heidi Bryant, Dr. Rachel Haug, and Heidi, you're going to have to help me with Dr. Janet Hoykesoven. I'm gonna have to remember that. Those are the musicians. So that beautiful music you heard playing as you entered the room were performed by those lovely, lovely musical artists. Ned Bryant, chauffeur for Ted Howland, roadie and moral support, has been playing the role of roadie today, bringing in all the gear, getting things set up. Big thanks to Ned. And last and certainly not least, most especially, in fact, to Ted Howland for his generous support and determination to keep the contest going strong and growing every year. And Ted is with us here today. So if you'd all give Ted a nice round of applause. Thank you, Ted. This is really an incredible event, and so many people in our community benefit from it. And as you can see, people from all over the world benefit from it. So we're going to move right into the good part. We're going to hear the winners reading their sonnets. This is a reminder to those of you on the Zoom. Remember to introduce yourselves. Let us know where you're from before you read and the title of your sonnet. I'm very excited. There's some extremely talented folks. I got a chance to read over a lot of the sonnets in the last several days. This is going to be an incredible event. People are coming to us from all over the world, which I think is just incredible technology that I'm not even sure we could have done 10 years ago. So this is incredibly exciting. This is going to be a lot of fun. And we are just going to go straight through the sonnets. So for those of you who are reading, when it's your turn, just come right up to the microphone and start reading. And I will be with you again at the end of the event. So let's get this rolling. And I think our first one is going to be read over Zoom.
Hello, I'm Barbara McAfee. I live in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. I'm a voice coach, singer, songwriter, and author of a book called Full Voice. Skiing sonnet. The hibernating trees in stillness stand. Dark branches interrupt the azure sky. Deep winter's grip is hard upon the land. Dead oak leaves rustle as chill breeze slips by. And yet, these frozen woods are filled with light, a spangled blanket shouting back the sun. Did stars fall mingled with the snow last night to keep on shining in this day begun? A jubilation spreads through all my limbs, chasing chill from flying hands and feet. My sliding skis compose a whispered hymn, the snick of poles in snow, its steady beat. I call these words from breath and joy and skis to bring you to these shining woods with me.
Hi, my name is Mia Schilling-Grogan. I'm coming to you from Philadelphia, where I teach at Chestnut Hill College. I'd just like to say about this poem that I do love Robert Frost's poetry. This is just a little exercise in thinking about how meanings of poems change for us over the years, called Never Again. Never again would birdsong be the same. The co-ed felt this had the ring of truth, and to do that to birds was why she came. Was it? Or did the sounds Frost made seduce her young heart, her dear professor's voice lilting through the poem's careful reticence, the love song clear in its delicate poises, in its subtle affair with assonance? because lurking there are all kinds of snakes to trouble Eden. Now the gendered charge comes clear, puns and all. An aloofness breaks over the reserved tone. Questions emerge. Did Eve call to Adam or only to the birds? Who could doubt a tale that absence undergirds?
Hello, my name is Jason Summer. I live in St. Louis. My last poetry book is Portulans from University of Chicago. And last year I published a memoir entitled Shmuel's Bridge. My sonnet is entitled Getting Clean. I'd heard of those who tried to do home cure, locked in with some good soul nearby to help. The sicks and shakes, the fevers they endure for weeks in giving desperate rebirth to self, delivering the needy cells from need's worst prompts, and ever after must avoid the associations of old ecstasy, people, places even in the mind. So I have trembled and reviewed with pain, everywhere in me the pleasure touched, my heart thudded crazily through my skin, and nights went into mourning as I watched. I spoke delirium to a friend who knew, and I kept off the streets that led to you.
Hello, I am Charlotte Blair, and I live in the woods in Muskoka, Ontario, Canada. This sonnet is about something that actually happened to me in my own childhood, although I have certainly taken some poetic license. To this day, they won't admit it. See, there were 5 of us in the back seat, Dad's 65 Bel Air 396. Being the smallest, I was tossed in last to filter into any space I fit. The memory's muffled, but I do recall my left butt cheek upon one brother's lap, my right one hovering the in-between, and words I couldn't hear said low and flat. I saw a hand reach for the door. I know I saw a hand reach for the door. I know I sensed another push me out. While rolling in the ditch, I felt 4 things: grass, glass, our mother's laugh, my tiny shout. My parents had one more child than they should, the absolute ice facts of my childhood.
My name is Emilio. I'm one of the 4 judges. This is for a squirrel that did not die in the street. The squirrel, as if he were a well-made doll, dropped overboard along a morning stroll. It lies in grass that skirts Memorial Hall, as if reclined to glimpse the sky's smooth roll, half supine, tail a splendid train of fur arranged behind. He fell. I saw him fall, or her perhaps, for all I know, saw her, leaping for the roof tiles from the tall arms of the sycamore. She did not gauge the distance as we always think they will land, sailed as gracefully to the ground as had she meant to reach, had she not failed. How still now, all the fitful secret purpose lost, and slamming death appearing strangely soft.
Hi, I'm Leslie Schultz from Northfield, Minnesota, and I got to read about 700 sonnets this year. It was fabulous to do that. This is a laureate's choice. It's by Romy Negrin of New York, New York. I can't go out today. Please understand. I can't go out today. Please understand. An app confirms it is that time again. My insides twisted by some spectral hand. I cannot move. Oh God, how I hate menstruation. And I think I have it bad. How our foremothers coped, I can't conceive, with neither Advil nor a heating pad to bear this ancient curse of wayward Eve. My anguished groans, they shake the very ground. I'd welcome Charon in his mortal fairy. In short, I'm just no fun to be around. My only friends right now are Ben and Jerry. I hate to cancel plans, but things look bleak. Can we reschedule for sometime next week?
Hi, I'm Ken McCullough. I'm one of the judges. This poem is one of the laureate choices. It's titled "In the County Jail at Natchez." It's a traditional sonnet by Deborah L. Halliday from Warwick, Rhode Island. In the county jail at Natchez. He wore a cotton shirt and old black pants and said he was called Peter, runaway. Just one of 10 in Natchez jail that day. The jailer took the normal legal stance that he'd be held until the costs were paid, and thus he'd advertised. A Negro, stout, at height of 4'7" thereabout. His back severely cut where whips were laid. 3 marks on his left cheek. An iron band around his neck. A rod from neck to waist. Another running down his back and placed, secured around his hips. He'd run unplanned. The tale could be repeated thousandfold. But this was Peter. He was 12 years old.
Hello, my name is Yunjit Hong, and I'm zooming in from California right now. I'm in the youth category, and I'm currently 13 years old. And my sonnet is titled Honorable Mention, Climate Change. Let's see the top concerns in our world now. Of course, the #1 award goes to gaining as many likes as the site allows. Make sure the algorithms push you through. And second prize goes to perfect 6-pack abs, shrunk delts, ripped tries, and don't forget the glutes to show off at the pool where influencers flop. You need them for your next upcoming shoot. The third prize goes to those who loudly wail against pronouns. He, she, they, and them, so vile. Let's boycott brands and stores. Oh, what a tale. As if our gendered world is under trial. Oh, and honorable mention, climate change. Was that we're drowning slowly? Strange.
Hi, this is Jonathan Greenhouse. I am coming in from Jersey City, New Jersey. And stop me if you've heard of this, but when Rob Thomas was saying that he took the train into Winona, I thought he's a Winona writer. Okay. This is Russian nesting dolls. Across the sea, what's traded for a blast? Some mangled beams, faint cries, and shattered rocks. A robin's eggs assaulted by 2 hawks. A heap of torn up sails which lack a mast. Our people whisper names of people past. Worn minutes swear allegiance to their clocks. And squares of cardboard choke a cardboard box. Recycled wishes hastily amassed. Each revelation's crafted to forget. Just Russian nesting dolls shut out from light. A row of orange trees in apple groves. Each lesson's more a lesson in regret. A war in which aggressors lose the fight for being blessed with blood-stained hands in droves. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Erlandson. I'm from Royal Oak, Michigan, and my sonnet is called Fire and Ice. Look how the luminescent moon tonight flames all the frozen world with icy blaze, making each kindled branch on which I gaze a supernatural object in its light. Wood turns to crystal. Each glazed tree outshines the moon. Each roadside's bush's tangled maze reflects red taillights' passing ray, displays a shivering winter fire. Silver lines of wires overhead shine with electric bolts as, with each breeze, each wire sways, reflecting lunar lightning that conveys sparks racing end to end at the speed of magic. This night may end in fire or in ice. Meanwhile, it mirrors flares from paradise. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maple. I have the pleasure of reading my father's poem today, and I grew up doing a lot of biking. Tandem. Shall we prepare thee for an April day? Thou art still lovely, though thou needst a scrub. We pump thy tubes, rule out small leaks, we pray. Inspect thy brakes and rims. Ah, there's the rub. We true thy wheels, test spokes for undue strain, and try thy gear shift for response and squeak. Then lubricate derailleur, hub, and chain, and give thy handlebar and seat a tweak. We check thy cables for impediment, conduct rear blinker and front headlight test, confirm thy bottle has no sediment, thy riders helmeted and brightly dressed. Emancipated from the winter chill, we pedal, panting, up the paltry hill.
Hi, David Southward from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Just want to give a special shout out to all the youth winners and say how proud I am that you're carrying on the tradition of the sonnet. This is on the death of a journalist at 44. I see him in my classroom at 18, sullen and sneering, ready to attack the princess, suck-up, jock, or lit-mag hack, his heart like tinder doused in gasoline. Confronting him, I saw a young James Dean let down his guard, admit to his own lack of gracefulness at holding anger back, with no one by his side to intervene. I wasn't there to see his hard-earned rise through journalism's ranks, his wedding day, the flutter of his firstborn's trusting eyes, or how, as fog rolled in one wintry day, the loneliness of trying to be good encircled the last bridge on which he stood.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Beaton, zooming to you today from Vancouver Island, Canada. I write and recite metrical poetry, and I'm author of a book called Leaving Kamostianavik. Vancouver Island's got lots of wildlife, and some of our animals are nocturnal, thanks to a layer of material in their eyeballs which reflects light. That allows their receptors a second chance to process it and gives them night vision. It also makes their eyes glow. This sonnet takes its title from that material, Tapetum lucidum. I drive around a bend. My headlamp beam picks out a pair of glowing eyes. A deer? Most probably. And yet their steady gleam discharges an adrenal shiver. Fear of crashing into them is no concern. The strait affords me lots of breaking room, but there is something fearsome in their burn, an unknown head harpooning light through gloom. Then, slowing down, I see its eye shine rise, bright silver green, above my all-terrain protective cage, portending my demise, reflecting my own headlamps through my brain. The great bull Roosevelt elk directs its rack downward to charge. That's when its eyes turn black.
Hello, my name is Almila Dukel. I am zooming in from Turkey today. I'm 17 and I'll be reading my sonnet, Longer Than Timeless Waters. Longer than timeless waters stands my lay, eroded not by passing lives nor age. My words are still carried from one mouth to others, and so in memory endures my rage. Great songs of meek bards come and pass away, as do tunes that relay sorrow and grief. But my refrains speak not of sweet love, nor languid thoughts that are transient, brief. In my time I spoke of flame and fury, of treachery undying, wrath and hate. My tongue declaimed chants of vengeance sworn, with hymns readied to praise my foe's cruel fate. Keep then your ditties, songs of past days fair. My feud and I, we outlast your meek airs.
Emilio DeGrazia from Winona again. Wishing I could be there in person. COVID visited our household yesterday. The poem Justum Generis, maybe a little explanation. The title is from the Latin meaning of the same kind, and it's a legal term that involves the listing of specific classes of persons or things. It might be useful simply to think of the title referring to the statements such as, we're all in this together, or this refers to various types of us. This is by James Brooks from Signal Mountain, Tennessee. Justum Generis. The law is random, cruel, and imprecise. It wanders from the homeless to the staid. It eyes the widow's purse, the wretch's vice, but leaves what's evil in forever's shade. The prison is the flesh that holds the soul, the cry, its dalliance with reprieve, the clock at every 9, its timeless toll, its God, the one that hath forsaken thee. But on a wall inside, an injured truth has risen to the cannon of the jail, too mean for Job, too sad for simple Ruth, too firm to make a heaven of a hell. Without request, from common clay conceived, my way was yours, and all but chance agreed.
Leslie Schultz again, a judge, reading a youth award by Susanna Abel Zucker of Northampton, Massachusetts. The Upward Growth. I lie amidst the wild memories. They grow around my arms and legs, and yet within their arborous grip, I still am free, unweighted by what I cannot forget. The branches of my youth spring from the tree of time, which will not die and will not weaken. So stronger grows my childhood's grip on me until, with present day, its strength is even. My past self's petals flower undecayed, unharmed by time's cold rot and present scorn. Who I once was, pale pink and soft as day, I fear for my new sharpness she'll be torn. Standing in the dark forest of my past, I grow. With time, I flower, new at last.
Ken McCullough again. This poem is titled Smash Room by Erica Reed from Fort Collins, Colorado. It's a blank sonnet, 14 lines of unrhymed iambic pentameter. Smash Room. Our text pings, cajoling me to join a hen night at the trendy local spot where, for a fee with safety gloves and specs, we're welcome to destroy a room of junk. Staff stocks the space for us. Discarded trunks, old printers, vacuum cleaners long past work, glass bottles, vases, mugs, a rocking chair. I find a plate in my old china pattern and hurl it with an unbecoming joy. We crank house music loud, annoy the clerk, and pose as we destroy cheap dinnerware, then tag our cheeky photos, hashtag hard hat hot. The whole thing's orgiastic. Ersatz sex. But it will do. Sometimes a girl must shatter. The next poem is a laureate's choice by Michael Hardy from Prairie Village, Kansas. 21. That summer's held among my memories the way the lake was cradled in the hills, a world apart. The path down through the trees, its portal. Timeless afternoons we'd fill with one another's lives, the special few of us, all friends, all lovers, weaving ties we thought would never fray. So well we knew each other's hearts and minds. We told no lies. We shed no tears. We shared our secret plans with firelit faces. When the embers died, we slept a flowered sleep. Our magic clan, a prize, awaited everything we tried. Each morning was like honey on the tongue, so promising, so possible, so young.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison Xu and I am from Rockville, Maryland. I'm a rising high school senior and I enjoy writing poetry and short stories. My sonnet is called People Love Sad Songs. People love sad songs. If grief is a pain, why do we grasp it as our own? A blend of blinking sunlight and whispered sighs, folklore inscribed in a stone or a bone, a loose, jagged rhythm where true beauty lies. If grief is a pain, why do we let it hover in the air? A sickly bird carries tear-painted melodies, a sudden warmth to our bleached-out desire, as if the balm of someone's secret remedies. If grief is a pain, why do we savor its bitter taste? The dampness of stories and voices entwined caresses our lips like the softness of sunsets traced along the horizon and depths of the mind. People love sad songs, those distant smiles and hums, a string of fireflies where solace gently thrums. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jean Creeling. I live in Plymouth, Massachusetts, about 1.5 miles north of Plymouth Rock, but I grew up on the east end of Long Island, New York, where I had some outstanding teachers, including the one who inspired this poem. The math teacher, for Mr. Crab. Bespectacled and thin, tie neatly knotted, his hair slicked back, his shoulders slightly bent, he looked the part, grown-up math nerd, besotted with numbers, how they worked and what they meant. For him, the x-axis, the arcs, the angles were characters we'd learn to love, not fear, and symbol-heavy formulas were tangles in plots whose denouement would soon be clear. The stories he recounted called for vision. Each problem needed its own strategy. Each happy ending rested on precision. He taught us more than math. He helped us see the truth in numbers and persuaded us we'd figure out much more than calculus. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Marilyn Taylor, and I was originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and moved to Madison, Wisconsin 10 years ago. And I just want to say that my thanks go out to the judges because this has just been such a stunning collection of poems that I've been listening to. I just want to mention that Yun-Shi Hong's poem is more or less on the same theme that the poem that I wrote is. So I will go right ahead and read it. The title is A Toast from the Musical Nobodies to the Also-Rans. I got the idea because a friend of mine is a violist, and I asked her whether she was happy or not about how violins were always in the spotlight in orchestras and not violas. And she said, we're used to it, we love it. So A toast from the musical nobodies to the also-rans. We're the ones who don't know how to play a jingle bell, much less a French bassoon. And yes, we've heard too many people say we're not so hot at carrying a tune. But we salute the proud mezzo-sopranos, violists doomed to playing second fiddle, pumpers of abandoned player pianos, drummers drumming one more paradiddle, garage bands with Tacoma Dome intention, grand opera's unsung supernumeraries, runners up, honorable mentions, also rans, assistants, secondaries. Here is a toast from us, your sounding boards, with our wild kazoos and raspy vocal cords.
Hi, I'm Laura Plummer, and I'm from Gloucester, Massachusetts. My sonnet is called How to Love the Moon. They never taught us how to love the moon. We rarely gaze above to find her face. She hovers like a child's lost balloon, forever waxing, waning, full of grace. She's just another country to be named, a place to plant our flag and claim our prize, a wild woman needing to be tamed, another foreign land to colonize. So boil some herbs and sip a witchy brew, and cleanse yourself in her magnetic pull. Let's manifest our dreams when she is new, and offer up our thanks when she is full. When balance is restored, I reckon soon, we'll teach our daughters how to love the moon. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Michael Watterson. I live in Napa, California. The epigraph for this poem is from the old man in the sea. You are killing me, fish, the old man thought, but you have a right to. Never have I seen a greater or more beautiful or a calmer or more noble thing than you, brother. Big game. Up with the sun, grizzly-hearted deadeye, apex predator papa forever thirsting for the rush of naked kinship with a beast in your sights, a heady mix of existential dread and godlike power, the same cocktail served up by a blank page. Those moments stuffed and mounted up on walls and between covers, whispered to your blood that every day bestows an empty cup engraved with the same passage of survival. While fishing the abyss, angling for time, you tracked your soul down to the lair of terror and, stepping into your own crosshairs, bagged yourself, won at last with all your trophies.
Hello, my name is Laura Shulkind. I am from Big Sur, California, although I am so pleased to be reading today from London. What a wonderful place to read a Shakespearean sonnet. I have two chapbooks with Finishing Line Press, Lost in Tall Grass and The Long Arc of Grief. And I'll be reading my sonnet, Palo Colorado Fire, Big Sur 2022. The wind is wind is wind, libretto for the chimes suspended in the alder's crown, where they're positioned well to play their score, whatever gusts may come from shore or down the cliffs. A pentatonic chandelier of slender dowels catching air and light. They swing, then meet, and swift or slow, I hear what seems a party in the branches, fright or warning, never in those notes. Just so last night, a sudden rustling downdraft woke the rods, a nocturne while I walked below bright stars, no red glow yet, no trace of smoke, and I enjoyed the music unaware. It was approaching fire that whipped the air. Thank you.
Maya Fritz from Chevy Chase, Maryland. a laureate's choice poem, A Bleak Spring Day. Golden, taut legs stretch with gleaming in the sun. A brace of silver, shackles, twisted knee, once leaping, agile, now limping, undone. Dull waves of pain flood movement's melody. A deep breath brims with scent of springtime bloom, brings sweet memories of races, of field, a sudden stumble, trip, and fall, sheer gloom, earthbound, never to be wondrously healed. Rises to stand, legs trembling with a strain, with bitter tears, mourns loss of grace and speed, and doubts surge to plague a weary brain. A dream shattered, heart filled with longing need. The sour truth remains. He cannot run, and life without this passion has begun.
Hi, Leslie Schultz again. This laureate's choice sonnet is by Rosemarie Moore Morell of Brooklyn, New York. It's called The Talk. I have 2 sons. When each turned 12 years old, I sat him down to tell him how to act if stopped by cops. I said, be meek, not bold. Don't get indignant, even if the fact is that you know that you've done nothing wrong. Lift up your hands and just respond, yes, sir. Like Rodney King's, can we all get along? Today, some things are still the way they were. Be calm. Don't roll your eyes or cringe in shame. When questioned, speak in tones clear as a bell. In time, the cops will ask your parents' name. And when they do, say, Officer Morell. Though sometimes there's just cause for stop and frisk, should every Black man always be at risk?
Hi, Ken McCullough again. This is a winner in the youth category. It's titled Ocean Sonnet by Sachi Tiagi from Fremont, California. I feel the pulse of tides within my veins. The sparkling ocean is enchanting me. The waves pull back and moistened sand remains. The sunlight dances on a turquoise sea. At twilight, sunset shines across the sky. The clouds are copper, gold, rose pink, and red. Rich hues and tones are pleasing to the eye. The dusk-time sky is vively painted. Night falls. A crescent lights the darkened waves. The stars reflected on the brine burn bright. 1,000 markers for those with sea graves. The ocean swirls the moon and stars' soft light. But whether it be night or day at sea, the ocean is forever calling me.
Hi, I'm Scott Lowry. I wish I could be there with you in person today. I thank Heidi for allowing me to phone it in. By the time you see this, I'll be on the road on a family vacation. This is called Capricorn. I could have grown into your classic goat, all sidelong looks through those odd oblong eyes, browsing the random shrubbery down to size and craving more. My stiff and uncombed coat would match the wiry bristle at my throat, marking for others my solitary status. all social skills on permanent hiatus, unsure of how to chit-chat or emote. I might have lived my life within that mold, the fumbling tramp, the lonely chronic rover, forever on the wrong side of the fence. But a steady hand reached into the fold, as if to knuckle my brow, offering clover, and that, as they say, made all the difference. Thank you.
I think David said it, that especially important is the fact that so many young people are getting involved in this. When you think of a sonnet, it's probably not something that a bunch of high schoolers raise their hand and say, I want to be a part of that. But to see how many were and how many and what they wrote gives us a lot of hope for the future. Just gives us a lot of hope. So a big thanks, especially to the young folks. I think we should thank Ted one last time. This is just an incredible event, so moving, so wonderful, such an enriching part of our lives. So thank you, Ted. Another big round of applause.